Hello and welcome back to the Bitter BM podcast. I'm Bitter BM, aka Felicia, and here I speak about all the people and things that made me bitter, but eventually made me into the person I am today. So, last podcast I spoke about the baby daddy, and something I remember mentioning is how I feel like I have to protect my children's future from him, and I'm actually going to explain a little bit behind what I mean by that. So, having been around this person for over a decade, I saw their personality. I saw how they interacted with myself and other people, other women in particular. And they shared things with me, obviously, because they trusted me. And then also, I think because he thought that I was going to be with him forever, but I wasn't. That was not a part of my life's plan. So, anyways, a few key things he shared with me that really got me thinking early on. So he shared with me, one, that his mother put him out the house when he was also very young. That's one. Two, he shared with me also that he gave his father $5,000 when he was 18 to buy him a car, and his father basically stole the money. And the third thing he shared with me was that he taught his eldest son how to sell and hide narcotics on his person so he wouldn't get arrested. But then later on, like years after that, shared with me that that eldest son had gone to jail. Now, I have girls. I don't have a son. If I did, he would be the smartest little boy on the planet. He'd be going into STEM and learning how to code right now, but I don't have one, so yeah. So having shared this information with me, I started to think. I started to look at his character as a person, and I truly believe that in him wanting to gain access to my kids, he is trying to either gain some sort of financial gain or support from them either now or in the future, because he did show up to my house once talking about, oh, he wants to give my kids financial advice. I basically told him to go away. Let me go back to him actually showing his oldest son how to sell you know what in the streets, and him subsequently getting into the criminal system. I'm not sure why he was entered into the criminal system. I don't know if it was for narcotics or something else, but I personally believe that that put him on a certain path. Imagine, I have children with you. You tell me this. I'm not even sure why he told me. You tell me this, and what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, oh my God, that's so cool. Absolutely not. I think that is a effed up thing to do. And in my opinion, he definitely changed the course of his son's life. He's changed the course of all his children's life with his absenteeism, lack of support, lack of emotional affection. I'm sure that it's affected all his kids negatively, but I can only speak about mine and what I know about mine. So he shared this information with me, and I was like, okay. But I always kept that in the back of my head. As my children have gotten older, I just always remember that he did this to his oldest son. And I said to myself, yeah, I have daughters. Maybe they can't learn the same skills, or I don't know nothing about selling you know what. So whatever he taught his son, maybe he couldn't teach my kids in the same way. But maybe he could convince them that, hey, this was the route to financial freedom, aka I got some financial advice that I want to show them. Hell no. That was my fear. In terms of the story where he told me his father stole the $5,000 he had given him to buy his first car, I think he would steal from my kids 100%. And that is why I had to deny him coming to see my kids to give them financial advice. I believe that the financial advice he had for my kids and the fact that what he does for a living, the criminality of it, were intertwined. And I think that was what he was trying to get my kids caught up in. If you can read between the lines based on what I said, he taught his other son And I said, my kids are not about to be no mules for you. I actually came across information where it was said that he was using children as young as 8 years old to, I don't know if it was to sell or hold on to certain substances. The video is out there. It's on a public domain. I'm not going to say, but it's out there. And I said, let me find out it was my 8-year-old, because I can remember he used to pick up my daughter from school without my damn permission. And I had to show up to the school and say, listen, principal, you do this one more time and you're going to have a very big problem. Unbeknownst to me, he had done it more than once. And when I asked my daughter, he's like, yeah, he just picks me up to bring me to lunch. I said, no, not no more. You want to see this kid, you have to come to me 100% because you cannot be trusted. He created a company and put all the cars he bought into the company name. Now, at first, I was like, oh, okay, he has a little company, blah, 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 blah. But as I got older, I realized that he was doing that so that he wouldn't have any assets. So if any of his baby moms came after him for child support, he could be like, I don't personally own anything. Now, it takes a smart person to do that. But then it's also very diabolical for you to do that as a father with multiple children. It shows that you're selfish and you're intent on protecting yourself before you protect the children that you actually spawned into. I hate to use that term, spawned into the universe. He will do anything that he knows he can get away with. So in terms of if I ever mention certain things to him about what he's done to me or anything from the past that relates to criminality, he's definitely going to gaslight me and tell me that's not what happened, this isn't true, blase, blase, blah. Because I can remember him doing that very much so back in the day when I thought I was going crazy. He would gaslight the heck out of me to the point where I actually started to question my own being. I started to question my own mind as if I wasn't seeing and hearing these things. People might want to say I'm overprotective or being hyper vigilant, but guess what? Hypervigilance is actually a response from trauma. And trust and believe, when I told you this man traumatized the heck out of me, I was not about to allow him to do it to my own girls. He is a user. He doesn't respect women. He doesn't value women. And I think this all stems from the relationship he has with his mother. Little inklings of information I learned about him as my children got older and I realized that they were going to be on a certain path for success. I basically am the protector. I'm very protective of my children. Maybe you want to say a little bit overprotective, but I feel like in me being overprotective, I'm actually keeping people who I know don't want the best for them, even though they may say that. Their actions don't actually show it. I thought him losing access to us was actually the best decision for all three of us. I feel without me actually doing that, we wouldn't be where we are today. Who knows, my children could have very well ended up in the system, ended up with even a more horrific life than I could ever imagine. But I always felt like if I was able to be around my kids, I would be the one that would be able to protect them, be able to provide them with what they needed, because I know what I needed as a child that I didn't get. And so I was able to provide that for my kids and get them to where they are today. And when it came to protecting my kids' future, that's what I had to protect them from. Protect them from him manipulating them, protect them from him trying to use them financially or into believing that whatever he wanted to teach them was their route to financial freedom or whatever financial advice. It wasn't it. I wasn't going to let my kids be victims mentally or anything else to this person.